All right, kids, now how about we do some scripture readings from the Book of Mormon?
The pod.
A great price.
The pod.
A great price.
And we fade in, listening to the fire in the background. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and animals, and birds, and fish, and children. Maybe if you're not a child. My name is Fraser Muckman, and I am here today with my co-host,
Chris Jessup. Sup, y'all? Didn't know we got the whole animal crew showing up to this episode.
Noah and his ark, and the family. They came in, they swam by.
I love that.
So we are here. We are a couple of prostates. Is that the name of us?
You nailed it. Yeah, we are both prostates. And if you don't know what a prostate is, it's basically a person who used to believe a certain thing about butt play, and then now has gone against orthodoxy. Basically, is how it works. Some would say heretical. Some would say anal. Some would say some various other epithets and that kind of thing.
Some say an adventure.
Yeah. But
some may say an adventure. It's always good to wander to where no man has ever been before.
Exactly.
But anyway, today we are back at it again, reading from another chapter of the Book of Mormon. I've never read the Book of Mormon before. I've never been to church before. I've never had a good word with God ever, or any religion. So this is my first. This is me popping my cherry.
Popping
as
your
it were.
sacred text cherry? Like you've never
My
read
sacred
any
text
other,
cherry.
No
Yeah.
other sacred texts? You haven't gone through like the Bible or anything?
Never. I've had things thoroughly explained, and I've picked up a lot of stuff from pop culture. I actually have a fairly extensive knowledge of religion, funnily enough, as someone who didn't grow up religious, but it's all through pop culture, through movies,
All
TV
referential.
shows, and talking to my best friend, Chris Jessup, who grew up in a cult.
Yay! Yeah, grew up in polygamy. Read the Book of Mormon a ton, and we're dipping back into it. Getting the feet wet again. It feels weird, but it feels good at the same time.
Definitely.
Kind of getting through it, kind of processing everything in a new light. I think is.
It's nice that at least you're there to help guide me and really understand, because there's a lot of stuff I feel like if I decided just randomly that I was going to pick this up and just give it a read. I was a huge fan of the Broadway musical, and I really kind of want to get to know the source material.
This is that source.
This is that source. If I was on my own, I think I might have taken things maybe even the wrong way, because with you here, we've established from doing a handful of episodes now that you've made me realize how every single thing in this book is just rock solid, watertight.
Yeah, there's not a single. There's no plot holes. There's
no plot holes.
There's no sort of water leaking from the bucket, so to speak.
No.
Everything's airtight.
It is airtight.
Solid arguments, solid claims. I have been able to follow this, my entire life. I mean, in a very real way. Of like, this all makes so much sense.
I think so far I've really enjoyed that. It's been pretty easy to follow. It's actually been it took just a little bit of getting going, but now every chapter the ante has just been building. And last episode, my favorite so far. That was my favorite chapter.
You said that. It's one, and like I said, it's my favorite chapter in the Book of Mormon.
It had everything, dude. It had gore. If we remember, so Nephi, who is the youngest of our little ragtag family here, he got a little bit naughty.
Psycho killer!
I would say so.
The devil on this shoulder was chatting to him, kind of made him do some bad things, do some very bad things. But
some would say killing is bad.
Mm-hmm.
murdering in cold blood bad.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when they're in a vulnerable position bad.
Yeah.
Even with no sort of self-defense bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Well, you know what I say to that?
You can do it! Cut his fucking head off! You can do it! Cut his fucking head off!
Yes, you can. That is the perfect soundbite for Nephi's inner thoughts.
Nephi chopped a dude's fucking head off.
Chopped the dude's head off.
In his own in his own house, defenseless. Right? The guy was drunk. The guy was having a great time in Jerusalem, which was, as we've learned, is just the most happening place in the old times. Mm-hmm. Everyone's having fun. Nephi's coming to rob, murder, and just ruin everything. But he did disguise himself, which is what I really liked about him. The guy was yes-anding his way. He was crunking. Not only did he kill him, pulled him up by his head clean off, stole his clothes, stole everything, stole his plates, and then even stole the dude's servant, which is hostage.
Honestly, well, if you're going to be doing a character study, you have to be method.
He's being method. He's being a little fucking Stewie Griffin right now, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah. So Nephi he had a struggle with the spirit, told him to kill Laban, and ended up going through with it. But now
you can do it! Cut his fucking head off!
And now we are meeting with where we left off. Basically, is that Zoram, Laban's servant, swore an oath to the brothers to not get up to any funny business, and that he will be a free man as long as they go with him and do what he says and hearkens unto their words. So it's basically a free guy that they picked up. They picked up a dude. They picked up
a dude. They picked him up. They didn't steal him. He's not there against his will. He hasn't got a fucking beautiful, beautiful black cauldron sword pointing to his back.
Yep.
This is his own. This is what he wants to do. Even if they weren't there, Zoran would be.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's obviously like, oh, this is actually one of the better opportunities I've got in my entire life recently, so you know what? I'll go with you.
Yeah. So we have a family who are now rich with stolen goods, a really good sword, and a person. And they were going back home it ended, if I'm not mistaken, on them being like, we are going to arrive at the tent.
Yes.
The tent of the mighty dwelling Father of ours.
Yes. So
Heaven
Lehi is still dwelling in his tent.
Name.
And he is hanging out in the woods, and they're on their way. So I'm ready when you are, sir.
I'm on my way. On my way.
All right. First Nephi, chapter 5. Sariah complains against Lehi. Both rejoice over their return of their sons. They offer sacrifices. The plates of brass contain writings of Moses and the prophets. The plates identify Lehi as a descendant of Joseph. Lehi prophesies concerning his seed and the preservation of the plates, about 600 to 592 BC.
So I like how this introduction, this one's title scroll, starts straight out the bat with the mum is complaining about the dad. Classic. We have a classic sitcom opening right now.
Yes, sitcom opening, and that's a great. Like we'll call it dwelting or dwelting intense or something like that. You know, they're it's like it's full tent.
Yeah, I think that now because of that Sariah-sis, her voice in my head is like, you know, in like kind of comedy sitcom, especially 80s ones, the mum always kind of has this like, well, she has like the Lois Griffin kind of like, oh, Lehi, you're always dwelling in the tent. Like even in like Married with Children, there's still that just like it's a bit whinier.
Yes,
you know,
that
and I just imagine her just fucking whining. We've got a classic sitcom episode coming up.
Yep,
right here on TLC.
Right here on TLC. Verse number 1, and it came to pass that after we had come down into the wilderness unto our father, behold, he was filled with joy, and also my mother Sariah was exceedingly glad, for she truly had mourned because of us. So they get back, and they're like...
She mourned?
The boys are back, dude.
Boys are back. So boys rock up, they're blinging as well, because they got all those jewels. They got jewels from the man, they got nice clothes.
In my headcanon, Nephi is still wearing Laban's clothes.
In my head, Nephi's still wearing Laban's face.
Mom and dad are just like, they're back, they're back.
Who the fuck is that?
What is going on?
No, he's still like, no, he's not wearing any face. He's just still in the clothes. And he's just like, Mom, Dad, they're like, Laban.
Laban!
He's found us. And he's like, no. We're all going to die. Hurls herself into the river.
Nephi's so good at acting that it becomes a curse to his life.
He's Daniel Day-Lewis and himself. Just he's immersed.
So he like pulls the face off and they think that it's Nephi, right? But then he pulls it off again, but it's Gary Oldman. They're like, no, he's
That's
no
how
good.
good of an actor Gary Oldman is.
That's how good of an actor Gary Oldman is. Verse number 2, for she had supposed that we had perished in the wilderness, and she also had complained against my father, telling him that he was a visionary man, saying, behold, thou hast led us forth from the land of our inheritance, and my sons are no more, and we perish in the wilderness. So Sariah
she's complaining,
is murmuring too, kind of saying
she's
the same
murmuring.
things that Laman and Lemuel did. Right?
Well, I mean, the French had to come from somewhere.
They get
Right,
it from their
so
mom.
we know we have Sariah-sis, you know. So that's where the mourningness and the whiningness and the murmur.
I mean, she was a mom who was worried. You know, she thought her
jumped to
sons
conclusions.
died,
They're
know?
dead. They're
Yeah.
not here. They're dead. That's kind of how it was back in those days, though. If they weren't
true.
here,
Then they're
like think of
probably
them as
gone.
dead. They probably are.
Yeah,
That's the only way.
exactly.
So yeah, no, she's worried, but still, she's complaining. So she's complaining because he's a visionary.
Yes.
Okay, you're brilliant, but look what you've done.
I think in this context here, visionary, like they're referencing back to a verse in, in Genesis. And I think in this context, I could be wrong, but like the guys who listen to the symbolism in their dreams as some sort of a visionary man is like an astrological woman. Lehi's into his zodiac, and Sariah is kind of like, look, this isn't what you think. You're. I thought this was cute at the beginning. I'll be honest, Lehi, but
It's
honestly,
not now.
It's not. It's not really
Yeah.
what I think. You know, I think we left our inheritance and stuff, and it's kind of a bad deal. So
Yeah. No, she's pissed off. She's a mama bear. I understand. Okay, she's very reasonable.
And so, if you if you were confused by that, why or what was going on, verse number 3 explains, after this manner of language had my mother complained against my father. So, just so you know, and it could come to.
We're back to it. He
Sorry.
did so well last chapter. He wasn't doing as much of that. He wasn't doing as much of the repeating himself. He was flow. He was going. He had rhythm.
Yep.
And we're starting already with him going back to his old ways. And I just told you what I just told you.
Mm-hmm. And
Gotta hit that word count.
Gotta get that word count. I mean, I want to make sure that if I'm having a sacred text, it better be thick, right?
Yeah. It's called
Verse number 4, and it had come to pass that my father spake unto her, saying, I know that I am a visionary man, for if I had not seen the things of God in vision, I should not have known the goodness of God, but had tarried at Jerusalem, and had perished with my brethren. But behold, I have obtained a land of promise, in the which things do I... Jesus Christ. In the which things I do rejoice. God damn it. That's just, I don't know why that's in there. It just is not well written. All right, we're going to do this again. Verse number 5. But behold, I have obtained a land of promise, in the which things I do rejoice. Yea, and it's not spelled which like a fun, like Halloween thing. It's like these things. Make sure I got to tell you no.
Yeah, it looks like you're supposed to really exaggerate that H. Just, behold, have I obtained the land of the promise, the which things I do rejoice.
Things I do rejoice, yea, and I know that the Lord will deliver my sons out of the hands of Laban, and bring them down against us in the wilderness.
Again, metal.
It does. There are lyrics that shine through in this for sure. And after this manner of language did my father Lehi comfort my mother, so not very comforting in the way that I did it, Sariah, concerning us, while we journeyed into the wilderness up to the land of Jerusalem to obtain the record of the Jews. And when we had returned to the tent of my father, behold, their joy was full, and my mother was comforted. So
back to the tent. We're back to the tent. Everyone's happy when they're in the tent.
Tent at the beginning. Also, some stuff was said between mom and dad. That's what was said. Remember, tent. And so we're like, okay, yeah, tent.
Yeah, back to what we know.
Verse number 8. And she spake, saying, Now I know of a surety that the Lord hath commanded my husband to flee into the wilderness. Yea, and also know of a surety that the Lord hath protected my sons, and delivered them out of the hands of Laban, and given them power whereby they could accomplish the thing which the Lord hath commanded them. And after this manner of language did she speak.
And after that, that's when she spoke up. That's when she decided to have a fucking opinion.
Here's how to distill this sentence here. And it says, and after this manner of language did she speak. That's basic. That's the same thing as saying, she said. That's what that means. That's what that is.
She said.
Yeah. But we already got that at the beginning of this verse up top. And she spake, saying, she said, she said.
We're back to it. You're back to it. Okay, no, it's cool. It's cool. Right, we had
it's like two guys kind of like telling each other a story. Like, and so I tell him, I say.
Yeah.
It's that.
So I tell him, I says, I think I think we've kind of understand. If we just go back to the analogy of this being a sitcom, I feel like now we're kind of getting back to, the what we know weekly structure. Of this. What we just saw was the fun holiday episode. It was the episode they go to Hawaii.
Practically the only thing a family could do for vacation in the 1800s was go camping. During these outings, there was a popular recreational activity called, hold on to this pole and I'll put these branches right here.
Yes.
It's good. It's just, it's fun. There's a lot of, and now we're back to the same old, this is what you know.
Yep, exactly. Verse number 9, and it came to pass that they did rejoice exceedingly, and did offer sacrifice and burnt offerings unto the Lord, and gave thanks unto the God of Israel. So they sacrificed some stuff, they burned some things to the Lord, they're celebrating and giving thanks to God. Verse number 10,
and they also chopped a dude's fucking head off.
Yeah. So not only was there
You can do it! Cut his fucking head off!
And not only did they make a sacrifice and burnt offerings unto the Lord, Nephi sacrificed Laban. Hard.
Well, that's not a sacrifice, isn't it? Like,
in the way, it's like, yeah, you're doing this for religious reasons,
You're gonna listen. I'm not gonna write a book about you, but I will put you in my book. Okay. You'll get a mention, okay? You're not going to get your own tale, but you will be a minor side character in a pretty good thing I'm cooking up right now.
Exactly.
So far, my favorite NPC is Laban.
Yeah. Laban, for
He's
sure.
left an effect on me. I felt like I knew him. Fat, ugly, French.
Fat, ugly, French, drunk off wine. Cool clothes. But...
Jew.
Verse number 10. And after they had given thanks unto the God of Israel, my father Lehi took the records which were engraven upon the plates of brass, and he did search them from the beginning. So he opens the book. And he beheld that they did contain the 5 books of Moses, which gave an account of the creation of the world, and also of Adam and Eve, who were our first parents.
So now he's trying to almost establish the realism by kind of bringing up things you remember. Okay, like he's referencing times of old. So you're like, wow, this is I remember that. This involves this.
Yeah, so these are the books that he's talking about, the 5 books of Moses, which gave an account of the creation of the world and also of Adam and Eve, who are our first parents. He's referencing the first 5 books of the Bible, the Pentateuch. And so it's Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus.
All rolled into one.
Numbers, and then Deuteronomy. And so, yeah, those first 5 books, is contained. So he has basically an early copy of the Bible in this Plates of Brass.
An OG print.
OG print. And also a record of the Jews from the beginning, even down to the commencement of the reign of Zedekiah, king of Judah. And also the prophecies of the holy prophets from the beginning, even down to the commencement of the reign of Zedekiah, and also many prophets which have been spoken by the mouth of Jeremiah. And it came to pass that my father Lehi...
By the mouth of Jeremiah. Is that an expression at all? Just by the mouth of Jeremiah.
No, but it should be. That's really funny. And I said it by the mouth of Jeremiah.
I was as wet as the mouth of Jeremiah.
That is a good little saying that you can have in Mormon culture. It exists. It just add it to the canon. You know?
All right, we'll add it to the canon and expect stickers.
That's
on our website.
In this video game, that's like something you hear when you're walking through a street in a market or something like that.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
No, in this level, that's what you hear someone saying as you're playing as Nephi going through the streets of Jerusalem. And you go past like these people and they're walking around the corner and you have to hide from them. And they're talking about, something. It's like, by the mouth of Jeremiah.
By the mouth of Jeremiah. And you're just like, what?
It's like, wait, what? They have that saying?
No, it's got good NPCs. I've got to say that this book does have some very good NPCs. And again, we got another crazy name, Zedekiah.
Zedekiah.
It's good. There's a lot of Z-based names, and you don't get them very much anymore.
A lot of Z's.
We got Zach, and that's pretty much Zach and Zoe.
Zach and Zoe.
They're good names. They're solid names, but we need to be more. Zedekiah, Zorro. You remember the Mask of Zorro?
Mm-hmm.
It's a dope name.
It is a dope name. All right, here we go. 14. And it came to pass that my father Lehi also found upon the plates of brass a genealogy of his fathers, wherefore he knew that he was a descendant of Joseph, yea, even that Joseph who was the son of Jacob, who was sold into Egypt, and who was preserved by the hand of the Lord, that he might preserve his father Jacob and all his household from perishing with famine. So he's referencing, the Donny Osmond play, Joseph in the Technicolor Dreamcoat?
Yes, okay.
That Joseph.
Right, I was going to ask about Joseph. I thought Joseph was Jesus' stepdad.
Yes, so Joseph
is it the same Joseph?
Not the same Joseph, no.
Oh,
it's
okay.
a different Joseph.
Two Josephs?
Yeah. Yeah, so two different Josephs there.
Right, okay, because
So,
this whole time,
Nephi-
he's been mentioned a few times now, and every time I've been like, wait. First when he said descendant of Joseph, I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then I realized this is supposed to be 600 BC, and I was like, wait, it can't be. So it's good that we clean that up. So we've got a whole new Joseph. So this Joseph is the Joseph in the Technicolor Dreamcoat, Donny Osmond.
Yeah, so Donny Osmond is Lehi's ancestor. So Nephi is the great-great-great-grandson or something of Donny Osmond.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Looking good for his age.
Yeah, pretty cool stuff when you think about it. Like, Nephi's related to Donny Osmond. That's a detail that you don't really talk about.
And you, Chris.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of him in you too.
Always. 15. And they were also led out of captivity out of the land of Egypt by that same God who had preserved them. And thus my father Lehi did discover the genealogy of his fathers. And Laban was a descendant of Joseph, wherefore he and his fathers had kept the records. So Laban's related to Nephi.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know exactly what the relation is. I don't know what the pligonometry behind those two folks is.
11th most popular religious-based podcast in Malaysia.
It's doing well.
A couple of years ago.
It's doing so great. Laban's also a descendant of Donny Osmond.
So Nephi killed his uncle, cousin.
Yes.
Cousin, uncle.
Mm-hmm. You nailed it. Yep.
And would Nephi have known that? Probably not.
No, because the genealogical, the family tree that Lehi has now, that was Laban's, like they wouldn't have. I don't know exactly how. I mean, they probably have like the exact details and stuff, but yeah. So so Laban's also.
If you are a brother or a pastor, if you are a vicar, a priest, I don't know what you guys are called in Mormon, come on the show, read a chapter with us,
yeah,
answer all our questions.
yeah,
We
might
have
as well ask him.
so many questions.
So many questions. In verse 17, and now when my father saw all these things, he was filled with the Spirit and began to prophesy concerning his seed.
Okay, so he's now.
Yeah,
he feels
fine.
the Spirit. So right now he's.
Ooh, yeah.
He's feeling it.
Yeah, he's
He's feeling it.
Yeah.
Feeling the Spirit now.
That these plates of brass should go for. Sorry. That these plates of brass should go forth unto all nations, kindreds, tongues, and people who were of his seed. So I gotta spread this message. Everything that's in this book, I gotta send it out there, right?
Yeah, spread that word.
Exactly. 19. Wherefore he said that these plates of brass should never perish, neither should they be dimmed any more by time. And he prophesied many things concerning his seed. So not only
he's talking about his own spunk right now, right? We are just his seed. He's
yes.
talking about come. We're talking come.
What matured come, but yes, come nonetheless.
Gone off, come.
Yeah. And so he said that the plates are never going to perish, so they're never going to die. I don't know if they're living or not, but he also said that they're not going to be dimmed anymore by time, so they won't get worn out.
Use them all you want.
There's
Use them all you want. Use them in a washing machine.
Yeah, there's no
not
little.
Gonna wear out.
You could shoot it with the tank, and it's gonna be fine.
Just it's gonna. But when all is said and gone, plates.
We'll still have plates, absolutely. Verse number 20. And it came to pass that thus far I and my father had kept the commandments wherewith the Lord had commanded us, and we had obtained the records which the Lord had commanded us, and searched them, and found that they were desirable, yea, even of great worth unto us, insomuch we could preserve the commandments of the Lord unto our children. So it's kind of an instructional manual on how to follow the Lord's commandments. Verse 22, wherefore it was wisdom in the Lord that we should carry them with us as we journeyed in the wilderness towards the land of promise.
The promised land.
And that's the end of the chapter.
Is that it?
That's it.
Damn. That was short.
22 verses only.
Oh, he said some of them were quite short. Oh, that feels like nothing. How many verses were in the last one?
On the last one, we had like 38.
Oh, so it's not that much more. That felt so much. I felt very, very short. But do you know what? So far, the fact that it starts, the title scroll tells us that Sariah-sis, she's complaining.
Yeah.
So you kind of think that's going to be the theme. There's going to be some kind of resolution to that theme. There wasn't really a resolution to her complaining, apart from just kind of shut up and listen.
Yeah.
So we have a very sort of 1950s family, right?
Yeah. Instead of full house, it's full tent.
It's full tent. It's
Yeah.
very, very full. They've got one more now.
Tent. Yeah. And Sariah was upset, called him a visionary man, but
it's kind of hard to use that as an insult. Like, thank you. If you try and insult Tim Burton by calling him a visionary man,
it's hard to do.
Hard to do. He's not going to take it. He's not going to take it as an insult. He's going to be like, love you too.
Exactly. Yeah. So, not really a lot happening other than they got home, they got the plates, cracked them open, saw what was inside, found out that Nephi is wearing his uncle cousin's clothes and still carrying his head around, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he still has the head.
Still has
the head.
Yeah.
So he has the head, and speaking of which, look how smooth this is.
You can do it! Cut his fucking head off!
Yeah. So
I need we got to find a more responsive way to use that.
I was going to say
the lag time is ridiculous. It will be better.
But also too with this, no mention of Zoram. He's there and he's watching the family do their thing, and so Nephi's like, it was only me and my dad who were keeping the Lord's commandments, and so we found a lot of really awesome. We found it to be pretty cool. Me and my dad.
We're having a great time. Me and my dad. We're having a great time. We're suffering. We got rid of everything, but look what God gave me. I didn't have this sword before I started listening to my dad's stuff.
Yeah.
Now I have a sword, a shiny sword, a magic sword, great clothes, and brass plates. And now everyone's fucking terrified of me because I'm insane.
Yeah,
He's gone batshit crazy.
Yeah.
He's going for it. Right now, yeah, do you know what
he's
yeah, right, okay, but we've seen it in him, right? And even now he's back at home and it's back to the family, right? And he hasn't really mentioned an awful lot in this. I can still feel it within him.
Yeah, he's still got it. He still has like this. It's like a dog who got a taste for chickens, you know.
A little bit. I'm looking forward to seeing. That can't be the only time he snaps. I'm hoping we're going to see a lot more snapping. Please.
We will see some other very unique moments from Nephi in the coming chapters, but that concludes the episode for Chapter 5.
It was very, very nice. I had a thrilling time again, feeling warm by this fire.
Me too. It's nice. Like, you put your hands out and stuff, and you're just like, you know, it's kind of... It gets the blood pumping back again, you know.
Does, yeah. Blood pump into my severed head.
Back to the severed head.
Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Goodbye.
Dudes, my dudes.